Shalom, sweet people. I am Maker Strong. My Maker makes me strong. And I came to you guys today with another episode of I Left Babylon, and so can you. So, in this episode, I am going to walk you guys through some of the things that you can do to look for a house or an apartment in Mexico. So, I don't know really about how to negotiate the actual purchase of a home, but I do know that you can always get a real estate agent to help you with that. And I'm going to make this my thumbnail because this young man, Alex Ponce, gave me some pictures to share with you guys of a house in Monterey that he has listed. So if you are actually interested in that, you can always reach out to him directly. But I am going to share it with you guys just for the purposes of showing you what some of the houses look like and other things about this. Now, let me just give you a real quick info about Mexico. You've got so many different regions in Mexico, just like in the United States. You've got the areas that are the mountainous region, which Monterey is like that. That's what that means. And then you have the beach areas on three sides, and then you also have lake areas, and then you have the southern tip that goes into Central America, and then you have Baja California, which is kind of like its own thing in a way. In Baja California, there are lots of tourists, and a lot of the people over there speak English because it's touristy. So most of the touristy areas, people are going to speak English, and it's going to be a little more pricey. All right. So the more inland you are, the cheaper things are going to be. And I am not going to go over everything, but let me go ahead and show you the pictures of this house that Mr. Ponce sent to me. Okay, hang on. All right, so what I would like for you guys to see is the construction of the house. I mean, look at it. It's made out of cinder block stone. Okay, so if you'll notice, the houses are kind of connected to each other by that one wall. And I don't know if my little tool shows, it doesn't matter. Anyway, they are connected by that one wall, but the houses are kind of standalone. And one thing that I will say about being in houses like this, it's really easy to hear your neighbors singing or arguing or dancing or crying or whatever they're doing, because it's like the stone is almost like it echoes in a way. So that is a little bit different than in the United States, where you could have a neighbor that's very, very close to your house, but usually there's still a little bit of a space so that the air can kind of separate the sound for you a little bit. I don't know. That's just me. But anyway, let's go ahead and look in the house. Oh, before we do that, so one thing that you will notice is if you are looking for a home that is inland, the information for the house is going to be in Spanish. It's not going to be in English because most of the tourists are going to the touristy areas, right? But I mean, to get a deal, you need to go where the locals are, pay what the locals pay. Here we have 3 recámaras, and that means 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baños, that means 2.5 baths. Sala is the living room. Comedor means that they have like a dining area in the living room. So like you might have seen that, where you've got like the living room area and the dining room table, top portion, dining maybe with the little chandelier or something come from. Anyway, cocina integral equipa, that means that it's like the kitchen has the stove and refrigerator, and that's like the main equipment that you will have in your kitchen. Se queda con clima, so it's going to keep the mini split climate system that they have, which you never know if it's going to be mini split for just one room, or if it's a big one that does like the whole bottom floor or the whole top floor, whatever it is, but they're saying it's staying. And the reason it stays is because in order to put that mini split in, they have to drill holes in the wall, and it goes all the way up to the roof. So it's a big construction project putting the climate system in. It's kind of like when you have central air and heat. When you move out of your house, you're not pulling all of that out. You're leaving that. Lavadora means it's got like a little laundry area, laundry room. And so it has a lavadora, which is a washing machine. So if it has a washing machine, that means it's got an area for that. And then it has a patio, and the patio door, and he says it's secure. And there's a cochera, which is like the garage for 2 cars. Now, just because it says cochera doesn't mean that it has, like, it's not a closed garage. Sometimes it is, but in this case it's not. But here's the kitchen. So I want you to kind of look. Notice no cabinets. Notice that, because in most of these houses, you don't have cabinets. So I'm used to, when I walk into an apartment in the United States or a house, there's usually cabinets already on the doors and stuff. Even like a small cabinet over the area where the stove is supposed to go. That little nook type cabinet thing. But these don't have any. So even under the sink, see, under the sink, there's no cabinets in that area. So the reason that's the kitchen, let's say if all of that stuff was out of there and it was just empty space, the reason you would know it's a kitchen is because the sink is in there, and because there's a place for the stove to get hooked up. Okay. Now, we're not going to see everything in this house because I want to show you some other stuff, but this is the bedroom, and notice that a normal size bedroom, this is they call it matrimonial, but it would be the same as like a full mattress. Okay. Notice it kind of takes up the room. And notice also that a lot of times you will not have a closet. You will have an area, like a little nook, and you can build these like organizing areas so you can put your clothes up there. But a lot of times you're not going to have a closet, a designated closet. And these houses are built up to save space on the exterior. So as you can see, you've got stairs. This is your sala with the patio doors that go out to the backyard. And a lot of these houses, I keep saying a lot. Did I say that already? Sometimes you'll find the houses that are already furnished, and they come like that because the people don't want to take their furniture out for you to bring your furniture in. Sometimes it's more of a hassle for them to take the furniture out of there. And notice the sink again, no cabinet underneath, and really no cabinet space. Who's that guy? Hey. Anyway, no cabinet space in the bathroom either. So these are things that you would have to think about. And then, as we saw, the asking price, because we didn't see everything in this house, but it seems to be a lot of house. You know what I mean? And they're asking for precio is the price, 10,000 per month. Okay, that's 10,000 per month. And if you did the money conversion as of today, the 10,000 pesos is equal to $585. I'm sorry, $583.85. Now, it doesn't matter what the dollar does, whether it rises or falls. Your rent is going to be based on the peso. So sometimes you might pay less because the dollar might have risen, but it kind of fluctuates, as you all probably know. So now we're going to look at this word that I hate to pronounce, inmuebles. Inmuebles. This is the same as if you were to look for any property for rent, okay? I'm going to tell you guys to, when you're looking these things up, use the word in the original language, whether you're doing this in Spanish or you go somewhere else and you speak another language, because if you write this in English, you are really cutting out a lot of the local MLS listings because you wrote real estate agent, right? And the word for real estate is bienes raíces. But if you don't put bienes raíces, you're going to get everything that comes up for real estate agent. Now, I know this says $30. That's nonsense, a commercial thing, and it's nonsense. But we do have this 2-bedroom apartment in Tulum. This is in the beach area of Tulum. And notice that in the beach areas, usually you have a pool in wherever the houses are, because people are not going to the beach every day just because they live at the beach. They're probably going quite often, but being at the beach is very sandy, and is for me, I love the beach, but I hate the sand. I'm one of those people. So it's very taxing for me to go to the ocean beach. So there's that. But anyway, this is a 2-bedroom in Tulum. I have actually seen what we would call a studio listed as a 1-bedroom, just because they can put a bed in there. And I know in the United States, you can't call a room a bedroom if it doesn't have a closet. But here, most of the houses don't have closets. I'm not saying most, a lot of the houses, not most, because I haven't seen most of the houses and I hate generalizing like that. But a lot of the houses, like these types of cookie cutter type property developments, they will have something for your clothing, but it's not necessarily a closet. And these, remember the 8,000, 7,000, that range is less than $580 a month. Notice this sink in this one. Come on. This is an apartment, and they call them departments. Departamento. Come on now. Like I said, you usually are going to have a pool, but did you notice that sink, that the sink didn't have a cabinet underneath? And then also notice that the shower doesn't have the walls. So most likely you're going to have to put a curtain up, but I can imagine if you notice how close the bottom is to the floor, if you take a shower like that, even with a curtain, you're going to get everything wet. So you would probably be responsible for walling that in with glass if that's what you want. I'm not sure, because It just depends on if they let you make changes. A lot of what I've seen is people make changes to the houses, and as long as it's to the benefit of the person that owns they're not going to have a problem with you doing something like that. But the word is inmuebles. So you're writing inmuebles when you are inmuebles Tulum, inmuebles Acapulco. And I use this one 8,000, right? I was looking for something that didn't cost that much. But you can actually get some you can buy properties. Hang on. Oh my gosh. You can buy beautiful properties. Oh my gosh. Look at these. Look. Are you looking? Are y'all looking at this beautiful thing? And you can get them furnished or unfurnished. Notice they have cabinets. And this is another one of those, like I told you, it's like a private constructions. We have here, this is called the caseta. And that is in a lot of these neighborhoods, you'll have the gate where the people, when you come in, you have to do a little bit to get into the neighborhood. You can't just drive in there and do whatever you want. But notice the prices on these now. Okay, notice the price. But they exist. I mean, if you got it, baby, flaunt it. Look at this beautiful house. Look at this beautiful house. And that one is not but up next to their neighbors where they can hear them singing or their baby crying or their dogs barking and stuff. This is beautiful. Beautiful. All right. And then the last thing I'm going to show you guys is don't forget about Facebook. Don't forget that people are renting properties and selling their properties outright on Facebook. There are some dangers because if you don't really know what you're doing, you can really mess yourself around. That's why I tell you guys to look for agents and trustworthy agents that can help you make the deal that you need to make to get the kind of property that's going to satisfy you. Like for me, if I were moving to the beach, I wouldn't really be concerned too much about all of the amenities inside the house because my purpose for going to that area would be for everything that's outside. Okay. So it would be like, oh, my house is just for me to live in. It's just for me to have a place to sleep and eat and use the bathroom and shower and stuff. But my real life is out there, exploring the beauty of nature around me. So anyway, that was my little tip, I guess. Make sure that you are talking to a qualified real estate agent. Make sure that when you search for these places, you put bienes raíces, but there's nothing that beats going to the place and looking around because you're going to find that people will have the for sale signs on their houses and they won't put them online. Like people, I don't know why, but you don't really find sophisticated types of listings and stuff like that online. A lot of times you will find a beautiful house and it just says se renta or se venta, and you're like, this is nowhere. But it's got to be in the MLS if they're selling it. So if you have an agent, they can find that stuff for you. But then again, there are people who sell on their own. Anyway, I want to shout out to Rocky, my ex-husband, who gave me the idea to do this. video to talk to you guys about buying a house in Mexico or renting a house in Mexico. Yes, you can still be friends with your ex, even after the love has lost its shine. Because, we're all people, right? We don't throw people away, we throw trash away. And I know there are some people that you might consider trash, but they're not. They're not. They still have some value. So you just have to know what category they belong in your life. And so I think my ex and I, after 20 some odd years, I won't say how many, we've finally figured it out after, years of raising a child together. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to you guys. And again, please make sure that if you are trying to move to another country, that you do your due diligence about the area and things like that. So I think that's all I was going to say about that. Shalom.